I'm 48, am married to 44F for 16 years with college-aged stepdaughter and 2 school-aged children together. My wife had a 2.5-year physical affair with married coworker. I found out 9 months ago. My wife works in same building with AP but a different office. She has cut all connections with AP, I believe her. She has shared devices with me. She does get angry when I go digital archaeologist to dig up details. She gives me details about the affair when I ask, I believe fairly accurate. She has shown some remorse. Nowhere what I would hope for. She feels that we share 50-50 responsibility for the affair. She was reluctant to call it an affair. Her and the AP had hooked up multiple times over 2.5-year period, no intercourse but everything else, texting and eating most lunches together at work. She is much nicer to me than ever in our marriage. But she gets angry when I need to talk about it. If I'm triggered and mention the affair, she gets upset. I asked her to delete his number from his phone, and she got pissed and deleted every man from her phone. She hasn't texted or called him since D-Day. I checked log on cell website. I have watched pornography throughout our marriage, not now. She hated that. I don't think I understood how much she hated it. She feels porn is just as bad as her physical affair. I understand that porn is bad for a marriage, but I am reluctant to accept the level of betrayal is equal to an emotional/physical affair. There is no emotional betrayal with porn. The emotional betrayal is harder for me to deal with than the physical betrayal. Do women feel pornography is the same as a physical affair? Is my wife taking full accountability for her affair? Update. All of the details in this post are 100% factual. But 6 years ago. For those who choose to run, I totally get it. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I would suggest that you consider how much you've invested in the relationship. If you're not married and have no children together, I don't think the long, arduous journey is worth it. If you've been married for a long time, especially with children, reconciliation may be worth a try. My wife and I are still together. She does understand that the affair was 100% her fault. I take 50% of the blame for marital issues prior and 0% blame for the affair. I had to use experts, podcasts and books to show her that adulterers suffer for affair fog and a lot of justification. She never did own the affair like I wished she had. She was never as remorseful as I wished she would have been. She never got over being fairly horrible when I needed to talk about the affair. This all made the recovery much harder. She was very kind to me unless we were talking about the affair. She worked on herself. She treated me somewhat poorly long before the affair. That comes from upbringing. Her mom and her sister both treat their significant others similarly. We both put a lot of work into the marriage. Our marriage is not perfect, but no marriage is. We have the tools and understanding what it takes to be happily married. I tried to focus more on improving the relationship than the affair. This was a struggle. I focused on myself physically and mentally. I listened to podcasts and read books about infidelity and marriage. It was shocking how little we both understood the inner workings of a healthy marriage. Do I think that my wife had intercourse with AP? Yes. Occam's razor, the most likely outcome is usually the correct outcome. 6 years later, the thought doesn't affect me. No anxiety, pain, or anger. I've slayed those dragons. Early in the recovery, images would have been impossible to get out of my head. I do not watch porn. Porn is very bad for marriages, the self-esteem of the spouse and the user. But no, it's not as bad as a physical affair. Porn can truly hurt someone and cause pain. But an affair can lead a person to madness. The most horrific vengeful thoughts swirling in your head. Some even act on these. My wife did stay out of contact with AP. She is working in a different building. The AP is still married. I never told her family, her work, or my family. I only discussed with coworkers who wouldn't be considered friends of my wife. I think many have figured it out on their own. There are always telltale signs. The recipe for an affair is low connection in the marriage, poor boundaries and opportunity. My wife had an unhealthy relationship with the AP for over 15 years prior to the affair. They would discuss marital problems. My wife talked with him more than me. It's easier to talk to someone who has no skin in the game. They were best friends for years. I was naive and okay with it. I didn't understand boundaries, and my wife obviously has poor boundaries. She understands boundaries now.